be guiding you through a series of movements which can help to improve your spinal health. So we'll be doing some twisting movements, some forward folds, back bends, just moving our spine in different ways to improve the flexibility and improve the mobility of your spine. So all you'll need is a yoga mat or a fitness mat, and we'll make a start.
We're starting in child's pose position here with the hips sitting down towards the heels, arms stretching forward. Try to really reach your fingertips up towards the top of the mat and have a little bit more space between your legs for your belly and your chest to come down towards the mat. Just taking a few breaths here, focusing on breathing into your back body. As if you can breathe into not only your belly, but also your lower back. We're adding a side bend now with both hands walking over to the right side. Now try to keep that opposite hip down as much as you can. Just the fingertips walking over, perhaps even stacking your hands so you've got your left hand stacked over the right. And you'll feel a stretch all the way down the left side body here. Into the waist, into the shoulder, even into the lats and the armpit. Then just coming over to the other side, bringing both hands over to your left. Again, keeping that opposite hip anchoring down so you can really get that stretch all the way down the right shoulder, right armpit, right side of your lats and your waist. Then we'll come back to center, bringing the hands forward, shift your weight forward, maybe taking a few moments to shake out the hips, tuck the toes under. Now, coming into our cat-cow movements, we're opening through the chest in a cow pose, and then on the exhale, coming into a cat spine where you're tucking the tailbone under, trying to press your upper back towards the ceiling. We're just going to repeat these movements, but really focusing on every single vertebra of your spine, as if you can articulate and move your spine just one section, one vertebra at a time. Rounding into the upper back. Inhaling into a cow pose, drawing the lower belly down and opening through the chest. Then exhaling into your cat spine, tucking the tailbone under, rounding into that lower back, mid-back, and upper back. So continue that a few more times, feeling into the different parts of your back, feeling into the shoulders, feeling into your neck and your throat even. And once you're ready to move on, you can shake that out, looking side to side, looking back to the left, to the right, just getting that side bend into the body again. So now, let's come into a toe squat where we're keeping the toes tucked under, hips sitting back towards the heels. We're going to stretch the arms up, interlace the fingers, and press the palms up towards the ceiling. Maybe lifting the chin and looking up if that's okay for your neck. On the exhale, a side bend here again. We're leaning the hips over to the left, bringing the upper body to the right. Then inhaling through center, exhale, leaning your upper body to the left, hips leaning towards the right. Coming back up to center, and then doing those cat-cow movements from before. Exhaling to round into the upper back and push the palms forward. Inhale to stretch the arms up overhead, like that cow pose where you're arching slightly through the lower back. Now stretch the fingertips up towards the ceiling. On the next exhale, let's add a twist here, reaching your arms in opposite directions. We're just going to move with the breath like this. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling to twist. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale to rotate your chest over to one side, arms stretching in opposite directions. Inhaling to stretch the arms up, maybe gaze following your hands. Exhale to reach back, looking back. So a bit more of an active twist here, working on twisting into that thoracic spine, the upper spine, and beginning to work into your lumbar spine, your lower back. Also stretching your shoulders and your chest here. Once you're ready to move on from that, you can lean forward into your hands again and just untuck those toes, wriggling the toes or even rolling out the ankles to bring a bit of blood flow back into your feet and your toes. Same sort of twisting movements here, but now from the tabletop position, you're stretching your right arm up and looking up, and then exhaling to bring the right hand down. Inhaling to stretch the left arm up, and exhaling to bring the left hand down. So notice how these twists might feel a little bit different here in this slightly different position. Still targeting the chest and the shoulders, still targeting that thoracic spine. Maybe you find you can twist a little bit deeper. Maybe you're feeling the stretch a little further down your waist towards your lower back. So this time on the exhale, we're adding a thread the needle position where that right shoulder lowers down and the right side of the head lowers down. Again, checking in with how this version of the twist feels here. Maybe adding a little bit more by pushing against the floor with your left hand, and see how we're turning that chest towards the left side. So pushing into the left hand, pushing the floor away so that you can rotate your chest further across to the left, twisting a bit deeper. If you still want to add a little bit more, stretch that left arm up on the inhale, and then exhale, come into a half bind, bringing that left arm behind your back, perhaps even reaching your fingers to the opposite hip. And then that will change the stretch again in your back, in your shoulders. Just reversing the path, stretching your right arm all the way back up on the inhale, exhale to bring that right hand back down. So same thing on the second side. Still stretching the left arm up on the inhale, and then on the exhale, threading the needle, bringing your left shoulder down, left side of your head down. Try not to strain your neck by pushing against the floor. Noticing how we're just relaxing the chest down, stretching into this side of your upper back and the shoulder blade. Already feeling a twist into that thoracic spine, but adding a bit more if you have a bit more space there by pushing into the right hand and rotating that chest towards the right side. Maybe adding a little bit more still by stretching the right arm up on the inhale, and then exhale, half bind, like you're wrapping that arm around your lower back. Deep breaths. Breathing into your back, breathing into the side of the spine. And then coming back through center, stretching the left arm up again, and then exhale to bring that left hand back down. And once again, just shaking it out. So now coming into our downward facing dog. We'll tuck the toes, lift your hips back and up. And in this first down dog, you can take a little movement side to side with the hips, pedal the feet, just press them down one at a time. Noticing if there's a bit more length in the shoulders, in your upper back and lower back now, after those shoulder stretches and twists. Let's step our feet forward towards the top of the mat to come into an Uttanasana, forward fold position. You can let your arms and your upper body just hang here in a ragdoll position, grabbing those opposite elbows. And it's like you're just swaying the upper body side to side, feeling that release in the lower back. And using the heaviness of the upper body, this can help to decompress your upper spine. Releasing the lower back, lumbar spine. Sunflower pose here now. We're going to draw big circles with the elbows, starting by bringing the arms over to the left side, raising them up overhead, bringing them down towards the right, and then coming back down through center. So that's one circle. Reach your arms over to your left, Bring them up overhead, over to the right, and then all the way back down. Now just swapping and going in the opposite direction for 2 big circles. Really focus on how these movements feel in the different sections of your back and your side body, upper back, chest and shoulders. Working into any clicks and cracks. And then coming back to center again. We'll let go of those opposite elbows now. And we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back now. So you've got an option to just keep your hands towards the lower back, or to add a bit of a deeper stretch. Think of squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other and use the exhale to drop your hands away from your lower back, as if you can just drop the hands up and overhead. You might even add a little twist here by turning, rotating the chest side to side. So again, this pose here helps to release that thoracic spine, targeting the upper back, upper spine. You don't have to add the twists if that's already quite strong for the shoulders. Then we'll lower the hands back down onto the mat. Okay, take a few steps back here with your feet, maybe coming back to a down dog first. Noticing if the hamstrings feel a little bit more open now after those forward folds, but also how your lower back feels here now in this down dog. We're going to come down to lie on our belly. So you can drop your knees, maybe coming through a half push-up or just sliding your chest through between the hands. Our first back bend here is a Sphinx position, where we are bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders. So in this position, our legs can stay relaxed, and we're pressing the elbows down, but also dragging them back towards the ribs so that we can open across the chest. Not hunching into the shoulders or letting the shoulders shrug up to the ears, but keeping that opening across the chest. And by using the elbows and the forearms to prop the upper body up, this will help us to work into our lower back, stretching into that lumbar spine. We want to focus on breathing into that spot. If your back feels okay and your neck feels okay, experiment here with turning your head side to side. Just looking to the left and then to the right. So you're stretching, twisting into your neck and your throat, but also adding a bit of a twist into that lower back. So we did a few forward folds before, and now we're going the opposite way, finding a few back bends. So that's the first round of back bends in the Sphinx pose. You can bring your hands underneath your head, like a pillow for your head. Rest here a few moments. You can always just repeat that Sphinx pose if it was already feeling quite strong. But otherwise, second round, we're going to come into our full cobra now, where we are quite active through the legs here this time. Pushing down into the palms and then pressing against the floor to lift the chest and lift the belly off the mat. Just like the Sphinx pose before, try to open through the chest, open through the shoulders, and focus on breathing into that lower back. Maybe also adding the little side-to-side movements with your head, turning your head left and right here, noticing how this twist might feel a bit stronger or slightly different in your lower back. Okay, then gently lowering all the way back down. Once again, hands underneath the head, supporting your head and your neck, resting here. When you're feeling a little more settled in that lower back, we're going to bring our right leg out to the side. So it's like a 90-degree angle here with your leg, having that right knee in line with your hip. And then we're adding the thread the needle position with the arms again. So you have that right leg out to the side, but then we're threading the left arm through. Notice how this might feel now. And then try the other side. Keeping the right leg out to the side, thread your right arm through. So you can decide which arm you want to have through and underneath the chest. This will feel slightly different for your shoulders and for your upper back, depending on which side you're rotating your chest or turning your chest towards. And having that right leg out to the side can help us to open up into our right hip and inside thigh. Then the twist can help us to continue to twist along the spine. The thread the needle position will also help us to stretch the shoulders and the arms. So big breaths here. Okay, and then from here, we're going to bring that left arm all the way through, even if you had the other arm through for the thread the needle position, because now we're going to keep this right leg across, but we're going to roll over like you're trying to lie onto your back. And bring that right arm, stretch it all the way up behind you, looking towards the hand. And now we're in this supine twist position here. In this twist position, you're going to stretch back out along the inside of the right shoulder and the arm, but also we're twisting more into the lower back. Maybe you're also feeling a stretch into the outside of the right hip and thigh. Taking a few breaths here. Then when you're ready to switch to the other side, we're going to flip over so we're lying onto our belly again. And so we're just doing the same thing on the second side. We've got the left leg out to the side this time, bringing it out like a 90-degree angle. Trying to keep the heel in a straight line from your knee as well. And then again, just trying the two different ways, maybe right arm threading through with the thread the needle position, or you can try having your left arm through. Just see which version of the twist will feel better for your shoulder and your upper back. A more closed position for the shoulders, for the chest. Trying to breathe into wherever you're feeling the stretch in the chest, in the shoulders, in your upper back, lower back, and hips. And to come into the supine twist, just like before, so we're going to bring the right arm through. You might need to shuffle your hips a little bit here towards the right side of the mat. Then see how we're just straightening the left arm out behind us now, stretching it all the way out. So that knee stays where it is. And this will help us to come into the supine twist where we're stretching into the lower back. Turning your head towards your left, and here this twist, we're working all the way down the spine from your neck and your throat, all the way down the upper spine, down along your mid-spine, mid-back, and into your lower back and lumbar spine. Deep breaths. And then slowly making our way back to center again, rolling over, lying onto your belly once more. Hands underneath your head once more. Check in with how your back feels here now after all those twists and forward folds and back bends. We're finishing with one more back bend here, pushing again into the palms, opening across the chest. You can just hold in that cobra pose, otherwise make a flow out of this by pushing into the palms and lifting the chest up on the inhale. On the exhale, it's like you're just melting your chest back down towards the mat. You can repeat that a few times, feeling into the spine, but eventually we're going to come into our child's pose, sitting the hips back towards the heels again. Back into that position where we started, and a good opportunity here now to check in with how your back feels now after the practice compared to when you first stepped onto your mat today.